it's just funny how we have this quote-unquote rivalry game where one team is looking ahead, and now here we are.
Here we are, baby. It's
Oregon
finally here.
Penn State week.
It's finally the week where things kick up and start to matter.
Oh.
We've been waiting for this one forever. We knew Oregon was going to be 4-0. We knew that nobody was really going to push them in their non-conference and one conference game scheduled to open the season. And now the real football can begin, and you start to figure out, where are you at? Do you stack up with one of the best teams on the road? Are you truly one of the best teams in the sport? Are there areas of concern that showed up in the first month that now will rear their ugly head? Is Penn State going to run the ball all over you? Like, are the penalties that all of a sudden showed up this past weekend after having a game with no penalties? Like, a lot of them offensively not converting and punting and kicking field goals was them just shooting themselves in the foot with, procedural penalties and holding calls and a block in the back on a big gain. You're like, all right, there's a 12-yard gain wiped off. Now it's 2nd and 27. Here comes a field goal or a punt. Like, they did a lot of stuff to hurt themselves this weekend. Is that more about shifting the focus mentally to Penn State and just not being present in the game this weekend? Or is that something that you're going to do on the road and it dooms you this weekend in Penn State?
So that's kind of my question to you is, I don't put any stock in any single thing Oregon State did. Their defense, not impressive to me. They got shredded. Their offense stinks. I look at the other side, though, and I can easily just say, well, look ahead spot. Effort didn't seem to be there. They didn't seem as awake and ready to go for that game as maybe a lot of us thought they would be, but eventually they took care of their business because they were just better.
Yeah.
Is there any element of what you saw that has you kind of going, ooh, watch this at Penn State? Like, I'm not saying one defensive drive should be the bear-out takeaway of what you have or are going into Penn State, but if Penn State's going to beat you, it's going to be with the running the football, right?
Yes, that's been the focal point of their offense for a long time.
So you can look at the Northwestern game a little bit. You can look at some moments, I guess, of the Oregon State game. What did Oregon State finish with statistically on the ground?
They finished
60?
as a team with 67 yards.
Thank you.
2.67 yards per carry.
So, that's a really great day. I would argue that's one of Oregon State's best rushing performances of the season.
Slightly below their season average, but yes, you're not wrong.
But so is it the rush defense, Dante maybe having some juice of payback, missing? I'm just curious if there was any takeaway from what you've seen the last 2 weeks, albeit the opponent's not very good, that have you kind of antennas up going into Penn State?
There's not. I can't do it because it's so hard to gauge mentally where a team is at, and I think it's so hard to keep your focus and your intensity for a month of football of games that you're going to dominate.
Yeah.
I think that's a really hard
fair.
thing to do. And it's really it's the one benefit for teams that get to play one of those kind of juicy matchups early in the year where you get a game where you get fired up for it and it kind of refocuses you. Mm-hmm. To me, this was a team, last week against Northwestern where you're playing at 9:00 in the morning in front of a high school stadium and they were pretty lackadaisical, and the same thing happened this weekend at home. I think we expected them to have a better effort right out of the gate because of the way the game ended last week. But also there's the mindset, these are college kids. I remember bringing this up on Friday of how much of the Apple Cup and Civil War are we going to leave saying, God, they're just ready to go play Ohio State and Penn State. They're just mentally moved on. And that was my takeaway from the majority of the first half. I don't have a lot of glaring concerns off of what I've seen for 4 games because I don't know if I've seen Oregon play at their best or be at their sharpest or be their most focused.
Yeah, you have.
And Oklahoma State, sure. But also the Oklahoma State thing, that dude, they might be the worst team in all college football.
I don't disagree with
so
how
they
bad
were.
they are.
They whooped their ass and they were focused and ready to go in that game, but they also were down by 2 scores at home to Tulsa on Friday night, and they should fire their head coach because they might be the worst team in the entire country.
But if
I think Oregon State could beat Oklahoma State. But yes, in terms of seeing them focused and ready to go, yes, I see.
Don't do
a
that to me.
Point.
Don't say something. I think some little backhanded compliment.
I think you're the real OSU.
Well, let's do that. Let's play for the real OSU, the black and orange.
Yes.
What I would say though is you're not wrong on Oklahoma State. I can't believe Gundy still is employed by them. That is as complete a game as you can possibly have. Sure. I mean, they did everything you wanted. They had pick sixes. Their defense shut them down, didn't allow a touchdown. They threw the ball. They ran the ball. They had return. They were unreal in that game. And I think that's just the thing here is looking at that schedule. The NFL is so week to week, you can't do it.
No.
College is, it's people that are 18 to 22 thinking how we think, which is not the right way to think of
No, rat poison is real. That's the thing that Saban, you always used to talk about. Don't listen to the media. Don't listen to what people are saying. Don't focus on any of that.
And now you get a chance where, God, I cannot wait to see. It's dumb. I don't care about this most weeks. I can't wait to see what they wear. I want to get to this game.
Did you see the cleats that they announced yesterday?
No.
They already unveiled the cleats.
Are they green?
They are
They're dark blue, aren't they?
They are not dark blue. They are not wearing dark blue.
Do they have a Nittany lion on them somewhere?
They are called mummy cleats.
Okay.
And they're white.
Yeah.
And they glow in the dark with green highlights.
Do you think they're going to go with white at the whiteout?
They better go stormtroopers. I think it leads to my thought that they will be stormtroopers.
A way to lean in and
kind of
steal
lean
it from
in.
them,
The
right?
mummy, it's, we're wrapped up in white.
What's the Madison, the jump around?
Jump around. Everybody jumps around.
He likes to do
Pavlov's
stuff
dog.
like that, yeah.
I called that a couple weeks ago, so I
Yeah.
do think they'll go white out. I also think, for them, this is the sad reality of the sport, where I love college football more than anything on this planet, and I love Oregon football. It's my most passionate fandom of any of the fandoms that I have. There's a lot of weeks where it just...
Yeah, it sucks.
It sucks.
Your
it
opponents
sucks.
are not
And the
good,
first
yeah.
month of the season has been that. Now you go on the road to Penn State where it matters. Indiana's coming to town on October 11th. All of a sudden, there's a little bit of juice in that game. Would you say?
USC later on.
You got
Yeah,
USC coming to town.
Yeah,
Some of them are not great, like Wisconsin and Minnesota and Rutgers. Doesn't do a lot for you.
Sure.
But there's a couple of games remaining on the schedule that now all of a sudden are far more interesting than maybe they were at the start of the year.
Maybe it's better to be a Beaver fan. Every game matters.
That is true.
You don't know if you're going to win.
You have no idea what's going to happen most weekends.